You can lose money. You can lose points in your portfolio. It costs you absolutely nothing. You won't miss them when you're dead. Nobody ever had their net worth carved onto their tombstone. Doesn't even matter when you're on your deathbed. Who cares? It's just digits on a ledger.
What is money? Just it's paper. What can you buy with that money besides a home and food and medicine and healthcare and luxury goods and movies, education and but besides all of that stuff that you can, like, what can you really buy? What's Benny Johnson saying here? Let's see the MAGA spin. What are we going with? Losing money means nothing. Digital ones and zeros. In the end, you won't miss any of it. Losing your country costs you everything. You will never get that back. Your kids will be slaves to foreign powers who hate us. Without America First policies, we become slaves. Fight. What do the comments look like? A lot of Dems in his comments here. I wonder what his own audience is saying to this. I mean, what a crazy thing to say. You will have no money and you will be happy.
Losing money costs you nothing. This is just the reality of life. You're gonna, like, were you young and dumb? How much money did you lose? Everyone loses money.
Right away. Did he just say losing money costs you nothing? Is that what he just said? I just want to be clear. Is that what he said? It costs money. That's what it costs. Losing money costs money.
Everyone loses money. It costs you nothing. In fact, it builds quite a bit of character. In fact, you learn a lot of lessons, actually, by losing money. Losing your character?
Yeah, I got to turn up his volume. He's so dispirited that he's speaking silently.
Losing your country costs you everything. There are things you can't get back. The government can print more money, and it will. Sadly, that's just the reality.
I can't even hear him. What? Can you guys even hear this?
It's fugazi. It's fugazi. It's just that there's a boom and a bust every 10 years, and it's been that way since the invention of modern markets in the 1600s. The Dutch crash of 1649. You ever heard of it? It's just the way that it works. It's the way that, like, monetary policy has always worked. There's going to be ups and downs, especially as the table gets reset.
Benny Johnson, whenever he makes videos, he's usually like very emotive. He's very loud. Like, talk to me about when Joe Biden did this one thing. What did you say when Joe Biden? And now he's opening up his video today with, like, you know, everybody loses money. So market goes up and it goes down. And it's fugazi. Just like there was a Dutch crash. Everybody knows that every 10 years, and it costs you nothing to. Like, they are, bro, like, these guys are, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be so difficult for MAGA pundits over the next month, 2 months, 3 months. Now let's get into the dog days of summer. They're going to be still like, you know, if they haven't just completely given up on life, they're still going to be like, guys, we told you in the beginning there was going to be some short-term pain. When we said short-term, we didn't mean like a week or two. Everybody always knew that the plan was going to take at least 6 to 9 months. We're looking at a good Q4. Don't even worry about the stock losses. If you lost your job, don't worry about it. File for unemployment. There's going to be bread lines. There's going to be so much bread. There's going to be so much bread. And then, you know, the markets are going to pick back up. The holiday season comes around. Bing, bang, boom. Things are going to be great. And then Q4 comes along and it's like, well, guys, we already knew that the risk was going to be, we knew this might take 2 to 3 years. We knew that. So you just hang in there, and like, there's just like their own audience. I'm telling you, I understand that Trump has a cult of personality. I do understand that. I do get that. There is some merit to the concept of Teflon Don, right? And it is true. He's always going to have a floor of support. I don't know what that number looks like when you stress test it in this way, but there is going to be a certain percentage of people in this country that never stray from Trump, that never abandon the MAGA movement. But you guys, this is the economy. You cannot f the economy and then hope to maintain steady support. Clinton advisor Carville knew this back in the 90s when he said it's the economy stupid. It's like, it's the #1 thing that people care about. Way more than immigration or Ukraine or Israel or education or energy or climate or tax policy. It's the economy. If you take money out of people's wallets and then on top of that force them to pay more for goods and services, they are not going to remain loyal. And so I have to wonder, like, will we see his support drop into the 20s? I mean, like, how true is Teflon Don? I'm telling you, this will be, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this will be the ultimate test. If he can survive this moment and still maintain like a 35% approval rating, I will forever say Teflon Don is real. Nothing ever happens. You know, you guys, the doomers are right. But I don't think that even a lot of his most ardent supporters are just going to stand idly by and make excuses when their retirements are being drained and jobs are being cut and, you know, the entire world is worse off, but more specifically them. They are going to have a more difficult time when they go to the store, or they're going to be cutting back on going out to the movies or concerts or whatever it is the youth do these days, or people do these days. And this is Trump's entire gamble. He's been saying this whole time, like, you know, my people are going to be proud to pay 30% more for an iPad because it means that, you know, America first. They're going to happily make that sacrifice. And I don't think he's right about that. I don't think that his own supporters are going to be, maybe they do for like a week, maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. I wonder what my dad's going to be saying 3 months from now. I wonder if he's going to finally tell me, like, okay, I just don't like this policy. I think it's a bad policy. People are going to start to get concerned, and eventually that concern is going to turn into anger. And we've seen second-term presidents fall off of a fucking cliff when they had incredibly high approval ratings. George W. Bush is a really good example of this. To a lesser extent, Biden, but that's not, his shift was not as pronounced. George W. Bush had over 90% approval rating in this country post 9/11. So in the months, even I think like the first year after September 11th, he had over 90% approval rating. And by the time he left office in 2009, his approval rating was like 23%. So we've seen, I mean, he didn't have the kind of cult of personality that Trump did. But what was happening when he left office? An economic meltdown. As soon as I mean, he had already lost a lot of support because of the Iraq war, but it got so bad because we were staring down a recession by the time he lost. That was the thing that pushed him down into the 20s. So people like Benny Johnson, man, he's in for a rough ride. Like he is going to stretch. He is going to test just how far people are willing to go in their like hatred of Democrats and the cult of personality around Trump. He's really going to test that. I don't think this is going to go over well with a lot of his audience. Like, what does it cost if you lose money? How many people in his audience that are making $45K a year hear that and think to themselves, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I don't envy their position right now.
If you lose the character of your country, if your town gets hollowed out, give me that photo of that town, man. Give me the photo of that town.
Bro, he sounds so dejected.
If your town gets hollowed out and your entire neighborhood gets addicted to opioids and your steel mill shuts down and your farmers can't grow crops and there's no more cattle ranchers, there's no more cowboys, there's no more fishers, there's no more workers, and we're completely and totally dependent upon slave labor peasants across Asia to make every good and serve.
Again, the standard of living, the minimum standard of living across not only Asia but the entire world has gone up because of trade, not down. Their material circumstances got better because of trade.
And pharmaceutical, then you've actually lost your country. And then we are the slaves. There you go. This is West Virginia. And it's so sad that this was a factory that provided thousands of honest.
Where's that heat map? What's the, you guys know that heat map that compares conservatives to liberals about like how far their sphere of empathy extends? I'm sorry, this isn't my family. It's not my immediate community. Am I supposed to care about this? That's their whole belief system, right? Dave Portnoy is apparently starting to regret his vote. Is that what I'm seeing here on Twitter?
I almost tweeted out, Dave, how much are you down right now and today? 7 million. I'm down $7 million in stocks and crypto. And it's tariff city. Trump has put his tariffs all over the place. I've been trying to understand them. I don't. Like, it's more a trade deficit tariff to me. Like, hey, we get this much shit from you and you get this much from us. Let's even that up.
Is Dave an alcoholic? He sounds a little drunk. Does he not sound a little drunk?
Let's get some wacky formula and do tariffs. And everything's in the shitter because of it.
Oh, he's drunk. You can hear it at the end there for sure.
Things in the shitter because of it.
What time is it over there, Dave? Is it 4 p.m., Dave? It is. I guess it's Friday or whatever.
Good-hearted, steel-working jobs for our fellow countrymen. And it was ripped. The guts of it got ripped out and shipped by people like Mitch McConnell so that they could make a couple extra points in their portfolio to get stock swaps with panic.
Dude, I love, like, we went from, we're going to have so much winning. This is what we went from, right? We was like, we're going to do so much winning. Donald Trump, I remember there was a clip of Dick Masterson on PKA, and he was like, Bitcoin to 100,000, Hutch going to the gulag, everyone's going to have $1 million. We're winning. And that was the vibe after Trump won. It's like, we're going to make so much money. You had FaZe Banks, you know, posting like a photoshopped image of Trump all blinged out with like diamond chains and diamond grill in his mouth. Gangbusters, you know, it's like the Great Gatsby type wealth for everybody. And then 5 months later, you have Benny Johnson posting a video where he's like, what is money? What is money? It's paper. Money only has value because we say that it has value. But what is that value? What can you buy with that money besides a home and food and medicine and healthcare and luxury goods and movies and cars and televisions and stereo system and computer equipment and toiletries and plastic wrapping and education and but besides all of that stuff that you can, like, what can you really buy with money? How much is that worth to you? When you're on your deathbed, are you going to be thinking about a little piece of paper in your pocket? No. You're going to be thinking about your kids. Do you need money? I mean, you do. But do you obviously need money to survive, but do you need a house? Do you need a house? There's a Big Five down the street from your house. Unless they've gone bankrupt because of these tariffs. They sell sleeping bags. They sell tents. It's only the big house industry that's convinced you that you need a domicile with a roof and rooms and running water and central heating and a bathroom and a backyard. But what is it? What is a backyard? It's just a piece of land. I can walk 3 blocks and there's a patch of grass. There's a park 3 blocks from my house. So what do I want to do? Do I want to spend $400,000 to buy a home that would create generational wealth that I can pass down to my kids and those kids can pass it down to their kids? Do I really want that when I can just go down the street 3 blocks, pitch a tent, live amongst the animals, fall asleep to the sound of crickets? Like, that's the message. That it's like 5 months in and they're like, would it be that bad if there was a global economic meltdown and we siloed off into separate anarchistic communities that somewhat resemble The Walking Dead minus the zombies? No. I want to be the guy holding the baseball bat with nails sticking out of it. I will rule over my territory with justice, but I will be firm. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Who's to say? What is money anyways? Like, it's just unbelievable, Cope.
You can lose money. You can lose points in your portfolio. It costs you absolutely nothing. You won't miss them when you're dead. Nobody ever had their net worth carved onto their tombstone. Doesn't even matter when you're on your deathbed. Who cares? It's just digits on a...
This is a troll. This is a troll. This has to be a troll. There's got to be context that I'm missing. There has to be context that I'm missing here. It feels like this is a joke.
What will matter is, did you preserve your nation for your children? Did you view your country as something more than just an economic?
Guys, 75% of his audience are going to hear this and think, F you, man. I have bills to pay. If I don't have enough money to pay my bills, that will harm me. I will feel the impact of that. I will become evicted. They will repo my car. They will levy my paychecks. You, man.
Zone and tax cattle and slaves to China. Put that up, President Trump. No crying in the casino. Is it really? I don't care. It's too good. The final point I'll make on this is, who's the slave and who's the master? You know, if your pharmaceutical and automobile and phone, all the wires in your home, every electronic in your home, if everything that you use in your life is wholly and totally built by a foreign power that hates you, then you're the slave.
Well, is the cost of my goods and services less? Okay. Well, I kind of like that.
Always thought of America as the master of the world or as like an empire, but it's not. Not if we are totally dependent and on our knees before these third world goblin dictatorships. So it's time for a total reset. It's time for them to know who's boss. And it's time for us to be the master once again. That's the point of this country, actually, to be the master of our own destinies.
I mean, this is, listen, I've been wrong in my predictions before. I don't think this is going to be a particularly popular political message. They can try to run on this. They can try to run a political movement on this. They can try to galvanize support across the country around this apparently new MAGA message of, do you really need like things? Should you own anything? Are they sort of inadvertently landing on communism? Horseshoe theorists have never been so up. This is a huge moment for horseshoe theorists.